People deluded, I'm back again, man. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's, ready for a stress-free stream. In fact, I can't even say that, support Arsenal, but hopefully it's good vibes and that, man. Get your talking points, etc., etc.
There's always just that active red line defenders. I think it's like.
People, hey, that was all mad. People deluded, I'm back again. People deluded. They asked me, am I the best content creator alive? I say, don't ask trick questions, don't be stupid. Of course I do this. And the serious note though, I hope everyone's well and safe. I hope everyone's in good spirits. I hope everything is going cushy in you lot's life. It's Monday morning. Obviously we're gonna waffle about Arsenal and football in a second. Definitely I've got a lot to say. Not too much to be happy about. Obviously them Newcastle brothers, they're making a couple signings. They brought in Dan Burn. They brought in Wood. They brought in Gimares. Point being, there's some optimism there. Spurs, Bentancur, Kulusevski. Who else is there in the market? There's a couple other ones and twos and things going. Even West Ham allegedly looking at Darwin Núñez. Now, where Arsenal's concerned, it don't feel like nothing's bagging. I'm sure, like a lot of Arsenal fans, we've got You're pessimistic. You're not hoping for sign. You're hoping for signage. You're not expecting any, but you've got a glimmer of hope. You're hoping that this is acting bangs, or there's a next brother out there that gets signed. All I wanted was a centre mid. All I've wanted for the last 2 years is a central midfielder. And I think if you've been following me on YouTube and Twitch, I've been very vocal in that. In Arsenal fashion, I not only managed to get disappointed, but you've somehow managed to make matters worse with people leaving. And, assuming Aubameyang goes, that's 17 first team players, I believe, and there's 17 games left to go. Whether that's the wisest of decisions, you lot know better than me. We're going to get into all of that in a second. Of course, we're going to get into the transfer business, Arsenal thoughts, etc. Appreciative, first things first, people, to all of you lot who are tuned in. Like I said, it's Monday morning. I hope everyone's doing well and safe and everybody is moving that much closer to their goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, and aspirations. If you didn't have a best of weeks last week, I've been there. We go again in it. If you had a great week last week, you can't rest on your laurels. We go again in it and move that much closer to our goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, aspirations, and all of that. As I always say, quite bluntly, if you don't have your health, you're dead in it. So as usual, I'm wishing everybody listening and their loved ones and whatnot continued good health and just good health in all aspects of the word, people. Like I said, I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope there's nothing in them regards. I hope the biggest thing we can stress about is transfers, whatever team you support. From we can waffle about transfers, there's real life going on, really and truly. So yeah, appreciative to you lot in the comments, man. I see you lot in the comments from early. Again, it's appreciative to sit here, whether it's on Twitch and YouTube, and be here with you guys and you lot supporting each and every day. Really, it'd be dead if you wasn't. Anyone we buy is a panic, bro. I can't lie, man. I've bought crap goods in panic. Sometimes I've panicked and bought some designer clothes and they've worked out good, man. We can, press the panic alarm. We should be panicking. We haven't got here by mistake. One thing that really annoys me about Arsenal Football Club, much like how we play on the football field, I don't doubt that Edu, Arteta, Kroenke, whoever, I don't doubt they came into January with a plan. You go back to Edu's comments, yeah, we did, I don't think we did everything we needed to do in the summer, especially in midfield, but he said maybe it's just ones and twos. And obviously in the summer, you saw that, we tried to go for a midfielder. Yes, when Xhaka was keeping it moving, we tried allegedly to get Lautaro Martinez and Tammy Abraham. So a striker was on the agenda. Now, we all know January, for a variety of reasons, is difficult to do business, etc., etc. I don't doubt Arsenal came into this with a plan. We're trying to get Arthur Melo, it didn't bang. Trying to get Vlahovic, whether it's stupid to chase a man or not, it didn't bang. Telemans talking to him about a summer move. Right now, he's not there, and there was a couple other things going on. Much like, as I was saying, on the football field, I don't doubt for a second that Arsenal had a plan, but relating it to the pitch, it just feels like we can plan for something all week or plan for something, and then when we're in that situation or the variables are changing and the dynamic is shifting, we struggle to adapt. Again, respectfully for me, obviously, as a fan, I don't know who's to blame. I just say it's a collective thing. Kroenke, Josh, big up to you lot for doing your thing with the Rams and going to the Super Bowl. But for Arsenal Football Club over there, Gillespie Road, nothing's going on. You're the owner of the football club. everything is indirectly your fault. And to be fair to Arteta and Edu, you heard they tried to get the Arthur Melo thing done. For whatever reason, it was vetoed. So them two have done their jobs, identified the talent in Arteta's case, get a deal agreed in Edu's case, and they've been shagged. I've only got so much sympathy because you lot knew what the thing was when you signed for this football club, but you get it, people. So there's that to be wary of. And obviously, but at the same time, I don't care. I don't know who's to blame. It's not for me to care. We're all in this together. You're all in the collective. You got praise for the summer. What's going on? You needed a central midfielder. You've somehow managed to make our central midfield options look weaker. I know El Nene, Xhaka, Partey, all of these guys are back for Wolves, but we're betting on a lot for 17 games. You know, it just feels like we're giving up the season already, in my opinion. I'm not doubting Arteta and the boys and things, but you have a chance of top 4. You need to be getting top 6 minimum with Europa League. Eddie Nketiah and Lacazette are keeping it moving. They've got probably, you know, I've probably got more goals in my pocket, you know, with my pocket change than they have in the Premier League. We're asking a lot. Midfield, we're asking a lot. Look at what we've done to get to this point. The injuries, the COVID, the variety of things. We're betting on a lot and we're showing naivety. So for me, again, the window at this moment isn't closed, but it don't look good. It's very reactive and it's everybody's fault. You know, really, I don't care if Edu's 10% more to blame than Arteta and Kroenke. This, you're all in it together. I ain't got time to pick and choose. I don't care if you was aggressive for Vlahovic, tried to get Isak, tried to get midfielders. Man, need to bring people in. You don't get awards for trying. And you've all shagged yourself. You've all shagged yourselves, really and truly, because again, you're making your task harder. Every time Arsenal are linked with someone, it's, I want to play Champions League. I want to be in Europe. Now, we know the finances that help us, and we know there's a direct correlation between our failings off the field and how it affects us in terms of the players we can bring in and, you know, our inability to identify and obviously help us. Our failings on the field with, you know, not being one of the big boys in the league and things is harming us off it with commercial reasons and things. So you could have set yourself up for a platform, maybe give your, you know, maybe if you pushed on and got Europe, maybe the people that control the finances or players that you want that might not give you the time of day might say, let's do this thing in the summer. Instead, you've kind of set it back and variables change. You know, I always say, yeah, no one was expecting top 4, but hell, even top 6. I was expecting a challenge for it because that's what you should be doing. That is the minimum, but no one was expecting it. Of course, the dynamics have shifted. Go back to the Leicester season. Leicester didn't plan to win the league that season, but the dynamics shifted. So we've got to be able to adjust fairly. And I just feel there's a lot of unnecessary complacency where there's almost this, it's almost like we're assuming that we're going to rank among a top 4 to top 2, top 6 place. And it's not going to work like that. I hope to be wrong, but there's a lot we're riding on. You know, other teams have stronger squads than us, stronger depth than us. Some, you know, you are seeing United, for example, you see Lingard might be going Newcastle, Van der Beek, I swear he's gone Everton. There might have been a couple of other outgoings, but everyone has depth. You know, yeah, Spurs looks like Ndombele's gone back to Lyon. Brian Gill's keeping it moving. Rumors of Lo Celso. I hope to God Bentancur and Kulusevski don't bang, but they're 2 players I like a lot. Unfortunately, they play for the Ops. That's giving them a boost. Where's our boost? You know, if anything, you lot should have taken the hard line and said, fuck it, Ainsley. You're not going nowhere, bro. You need to stay. We're begging on a lot, and we've seen injuries, we've seen suspensions, we've seen loss of form. Boy, you know, as much as it will be down to the players, I think everyone has to take collective responsibility. And this tells me that really you are not writing off the season, but writing off the season because what are you playing for? You're in one competition, you know. You have to give it your all in terms of the champs. Obviously, it is what it is, or Europe. It is what it is if you don't sign anyone. But it just tells me there's no real pressure. You know, we're going to get into Aubameyang and he's keeping it moving. Fair play. I don't care about Aubameyang leaving. It's more the impact. Aubameyang is a striker. We're not bringing in a striker. We're relying on 2 men whose contracts are running out. Lacazette, cool. The general plating, we're going to have to do it. But they're not scoring. Neither is Aubameyang. If one of them get injured, what's happening? And it's unfair on the young players. It's setting the young players up, not necessarily for failure. On one hand, they're getting opportunities, they're playing, but you're expecting them in these 17 games to prove decisive. Where you've seen up until this point, Saka and Smith Rowe have gone through good and bad moments of form, and forget the more Martinelli the same. You know, started the season, fair enough, the dynamics were different, but Martinelli looked a bit rusty. Now his chances come and the team looked a bit healthier. He's doing his thing. You know, you're relying on them. Obviously, Ben White, 1 season in the Premier League. Ramsdale just got his feet under the door at the Emirates. Just got the number 1 jersey, basically. You know, of our young players in and around the team, there's no talisman. You know, you look at the other teams, they've got talisman. West Ham got a bag of them. United, if it goes well, got a bag of them. You know, Spurs got Kane and that. Who's standing up to be counted? It's unfair, man. It's really unfair, and you know, it's our backs already up against it, and we're just shooting ourselves in the foot, man. And for me, if we don't sign someone, specifically a midfielder, the little optimism I personally have, it's gone. Like you know me, it's not that I'm pessimistic. I can only be as optimistic and as pessimistic as the data or I believe what I can see in front of me. And what I can see in front of me is young players. There's good, there's there's things to be positive at Arsenal, but there's also things to be wary of. And it just feels like when we make 2 steps, whether it's whether it's transfers or tactics or whatever, we take 2 back. Or if there's 2 things to be positive about, there's 2 things to be wary about and things like that. And it scares me. Edu said we're going to need 1 or 2 players in the following windows. Man, don't see no 1 or 2 players. I even look at Lokonga. I go back to Edu. All I care about is receipts. I go back to Edu's comments. He said Lokonga, him and Arteta keep saying Lokonga's played more than we expected. We've got Xhaka and Partey in midfield. Even that's a naive game. Arteta, when you're coming out and saying the market is complicated, for me, that don't help me because we know that. And you said that a year before. For me, when I'm seeing you wanting to persist with Eddie Nketiah and Lacazette, where Eddie might be going Newcastle, Lacazette, to my knowledge, ain't got no offer. This tells me that this season's another free hit and there's no target, so there's no real ambition, or man are not really trying to do something, really and truly. You're not. Of course, you want to win games and finish as high as you can, but this tells me man are not trying to do things. Every other club that's fighting for Europe is not going to be in this situation in midfield or specifically up front or make these decisions. West Ham aren't going to do it. Spurs aren't going to do it. Sad to say, United aren't going to do it. Bear man not going to do it. So why are we? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I hope, listen, Pepe and Lacazette in the second half of the seasons for the last 2 years, or definitely where Pepe is concerned, and Lacazette last year, they've been bad boy footballers. So I'm just hoping for second season optimism. I'm hoping the young G's can do their thing. Asking for a lot, man. Just because right now it's a mazza, really and truly, man. It's a bookie one, man. For opinions on that Bruno intro vid, I see him throwing shade at Edu still. Myth. Big up the New Zealanders as well. Well, you might as well sign Wilshere. But again, Arteta's lost up. For me, I'm not against bringing Jack Wilshere. I'm pessimistic on it because what's his physical condition? When last did he play football like that? Really? Away from my optimism and how much I love the guy. What's his physical condition? How many games can he play and things like that? But I look at Arteta, you lose. Again, I can only go off what man say, what man do. He was very blasé and, sorry, that's not the right word. Very specific in Wilshere, no new contract, nothing. He didn't do the Wenger thing or a more experienced manager thing where they say a lot but say nothing, where they don't exactly say he can get a new contract. They don't play it down. He was very specific with his words. So again, things humble. We all say things that we wouldn't do stuff and then we do things. That's cool. But you lose credibility because it tells me that, if you signed him after being so vocal, kind of dismissing it, what happened there? It's brazy, man. Very brazy. It's great. It's brazy. I wouldn't say we're done. There's plenty to be optimistic about, but we're moving brazy and we're going to get into it. When you're seeing the Rams do their thing, is what it is. And maybe Arteta and Edu are losing the trust of, or maybe Arteta specifically losing the trust of the Kroenkes. I don't believe that because he's got a good relationship. But this feels like this is the first window where, definitely in Arthur Melo's case, where he suggested something and he hasn't got it. Like, for whatever reason, maybe they're saying, well, you spent 200 odd mil. But I don't know. Really and truly, so it's a brazy one, man. It's a brazy one, and what they don't understand is not getting Europe has a knock-on effect for you being able to get players and things like that. Sets up the platform for the young players. Maybe again, to play devil's advocate, let's be real. Saka, Martinelli, these guys have a fantastic opportunity playing for Arsenal week in, week out. No other club is really just busting young G's like that, whether we want to or not. But at the same time, would they necessarily want to re-sign a couple of them, including Saliba, who's not at the club, contracted until 2024? Yeah, man. Didn't Bruno say he wants to win with Lyon? Shows you money talks. Well, money talks, bro. People are getting at Newcastle saying they pay bare commissions and that. Respectfully, Newcastle, away from what they used to be and whatnot, they're not an attractive proposition for someone like Bruno Guimaraes. So they've got to make it worth his role. Respectfully, man probably said, who is Eddie Howe? I know he knows about Newcastle. They're a big club, but he said, who's Eddie Howe? You, man, are getting relegated. Make it worth my while. It's what it is. That's what Arsenal got to be humble. They're all beating off the chest where Arsenal saying, no, listen, you can come here, Well, Arsenal, London thing. Remember what we used to do? You know where we're trying to get to. But if worse comes to worse, you can do your thing here. A couple of years, you'll get a move. We got to be humble. That's what. Not that Vlahovic would have signed, but that's the sort of angle you got to sell to Vlahovic, because you can't tell him, but yo, we're trying to. Definitely can't say the Glazides thing and say, oh, we're thingy. We're trying to do the Bayern Munich thing. We're Bayern Munich level. It doesn't make sense, does it, man? You know, for me, again, this tells me there's no targets for the season. This means whatever happens is acceptable. Wherever we feel fit finish is whatever. Really and truly, it's really scary where we're going. If I'm completely honest with you, it's very scary. If I'm completely honest with you, and it's almost a kick in the teeth as an Arsenal fan, you know. And I've got a couple of tweets that we can go through because I think these are quite interesting. Don't forget though, people. Obviously, 11:30 settings. Make sure you're there. The good work don't stop. I might do a deadline day live stream later, but it just feels like, what's the point where Arsenal's concerned? But as you lot know, LA Rams to face Cincinnati Bengals in home Super Bowl after thrilling NFL championship on Sunday. As you know, they got through, and you could actually see, you could see Kroenke speaking, people, you know, obviously here.
Mr. Kroenke, first off, you're going to the Super Bowl.
Going to the Super Bowl. You seen him speak about Arsenal?
Well, I mean, Steve, I've known you a long time. You know, we worked on this project for a number of years, and it's wonderful to see it come to fruition.
You heard man speak about Arsenal like this.
The big game in our house, and you know, just look at the crowd. I mean, these fans are wonderful. I'm so proud of the players and the coaches. Sean always used the word resilience, and boy, I mean, they had to be today. But Cisco's a great team, so I also want to ask you,
nice, man. Must be nice.
Last year, the stadium opened with no fans. First year with fans, you know the Super Bowl is coming, and to have your team.
You ever seen a man talk?
How much does that mean to this?
You just seeing the athletic
the
with this
brand,
brother.
and you personally knowing that it's your team that's going to christen this dome in the Super Bowl. Well, I mean, you know, I know that it means a lot to the area, and we're proud of it. I mean, you work across the street sometimes, I know, and so you're very aware of what we're doing here. So,
I said he's a real person.
It means a lot to the area. I mean, the economic benefits. I'm really proud of coming here.
Imagine hearing your owner speak like this.
And the mayor and I talk.
Imagine this.
He's really pleased with what we've been able to accomplish.
Have you ever heard the name Arsenal come out his mouth?
Last question. At the beginning of the season, you saw your general manager go out and make the trade for Matthew Stafford. They were aggressive in season, getting Von Miller.
Talking about the manager signing players. Mad thing.
So far, it looks like it's worked. Right. I mean, it's a little different strategy, as I've said.
Man, I say the Rams are cold as well.
I believe in our development people and the ability to develop a lot of these players. Third, fourth round, fifth round. We really had some great players developed here. They kind of move on. And
please don't do what, but 407. Over done.
It that way. And so you put faith in them, and they've been able to produce. So, I'm real proud of them. And you watch some players come up.
Boy.
You know, that Nick Scott and Long.
Man's name dropping players, blood. You heard Saka's name come out his mouth. Donny don't even know who Saka is. 100%. 100%.
The best being Cooper Cup in the third round. How about that? Well,
how about
congratulations.
That? All now the screens. Sorry, people. Let's go back. Like, boy, you know, must be nice, man. Our manager's flying out to America like a Bedina, man. Didn't even get nothing. But yeah, obviously, when you look at the Kroenke's people, you know, big up my guy Zed. You know, again, I can't just blame him for everything because they've taken full ownership in the last 3 years. They've been owners for the last 3 years and invested 200 million. Can you say football's a losing business on the best of days? Can you say there's too much bang for their buck there? You'd have to answer that, people. Obviously, where I'm not happy with Arsenal, or we're all frustrated, we're going to get into Aubameyang, but potentially, you know, Aubameyang and all the outgoings kind of shaves wages. You should be doing this in the summer, but Arsenal will have on annual basis over 50 million of savings in wages by summer. Makes it possible for the big three players. They want to take that next step. Fourth was never the target this season. Fourth should always be the target. You know, 4th to 6th place for Arsenal should be the target. We all know was what I mean by that is obviously we finished 8th. we all know we wasn't optimistic about being there, but you need to be part of the chasing pack, kind of technically what we are now. This is where I feel when it comes to Arsenal, there's no middle ground. You're either extremely negative to the point where nobody can do anything right, or you're kind of deluded and you think Arsenal is where they used to be in the past, or quite frankly, you make a lot of bullshit excuses, really and truly, to the point where, are we doing this football club thing or this thingy? Or this kindergarten thing? Like, there's no balance, where reality is, yeah, you shave 50 million in wages, but is that, you know, why do we always find a positive spin on stuff where there's really no positives there, you know? And I think the goalposts move all the time. As you can see from this account, fourth was never the target this year. After outspending every single manager in the league, the standards have fallen even lower for Arteta. Now, to be fair, we did spend money kind of rebuilding the squad. You know, we spent more than City. City spent 100 on one player. We spent 150 on a couple of them. And when you go back to 2019, you know, Arteta's targets at that time was to install a culture, challenge for the Europa League, and finish in a respectable position. That year, he probably did 2 of the 3. Next season, which would have been 2020-21, last year, make top 4, challenge in Europe, failed to do such. So again, why are we talking about a new contract already? It's almost like we're just freestyling what's going on. What, you know, I do think there is some sort of things to be positive about, but again, we don't quite, we kind of make 2 steps, then 3 back, then 4 forward. So it's like, you can't always assume movement for progress, really and truly. And it goes deeper than just one man, than just the owner, than just the technical director, than just the manager, really. And that's what scares me. There's not a single place in this club I wholeheartedly believe in. Like, if I was a Liverpool man for Klopp, or you might believe in Michael Edwards or whatever if he was there. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy, really and truly. I think they're a bit harsh because, again, we spent money on younger players, but maybe that's why Kroenke was reluctant to commit more, because he has spent a lot. Moving away from that, these are interesting comments. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Obviously, where I'm scared is, you know, you can see it here, Lacazette and Nketiah have a combined of 2 goals from open play in the league this season. So if this is what we're expecting in the 17 league, the 17 league games left, where we still got to play 6 pointers. We still got to buck West Ham, Chelsea, United, Liverpool, Spurs, Wolves away. Still got to buck Southampton. Still got to deal with Brighton at home. Still got to go to Crystal Palace. Still got to do enough games, enough things, you know. So if we're willing to do that, these lot are not idiots. If us as fans can piece these together, surely. And for me, as much as I think Lacazette, he's good for the general play, he's not a goal scorer. Eddie probably needs to leave. It's not even fair on them because they ain't got the credentials to do it. We're putting players in positions that they can't fill. Well, ultimately, they're going to fail. Everybody loved Lacazette's general play. He's been playing the same way. It's just the sentiment's changed, man, on him. Lacazette is shot shy. He has 14 shots this season. Gabriel has 14. Now, you know, Gabriel will probably ask to play, play up front if you could, but come on now, like, goals win games. What we dealing with? In relation to Isaac, I don't advocate just panic buying and spending, you know. I only want you to buy Isaac, not that we're getting him, is if you genuinely want him. If what I believe is the case, you've scouted him, you like what he's coming. Don't just buy him because you think, shit, we've got to save a bit of face. Don't buy a man and then try work it out. No, forget the man's strengths. That's obvious why you're going to try sign him. Know the man's weaknesses, how you're going to improve that 20-year-old in, let's say, 4 months left if he was to sign today, his next 12 months, his next 18 months, because, you know, clearly, out of a starting 11, we've probably got 9 pieces to the puzzle. You know, I'm not necessarily convinced with Partey and Xhaka together, but in Arteta's case, them 2 are your midfielders. I would say a central midfielder in replacement of Xhaka there, and obviously a striker. So that's what I mean by 9 of the 11 is there. So yeah, I do advocate this and things like that, but you know, it's a release clause. It's a release clause business or nothing. And as you can see here, if Aubameyang leaves, we're left with, I said 17. It's actually 18 players, really. And again, you're assuming that, fair enough, it's 1 game a week, but you've seen man get injured. Where I hope we can deal with that, but we're asking a lot. We're asking for a bloody lot, people. And also, when you start looking at things like this is where I think people move the goalposts a lot in this football thing. If I'm completely honest with you. You know, what else can we do? You know, that's it. You know, obviously, when you look at this, alternative for top 6 was always the target this season. We, as I said, we assume the first sentence assumes that Arsenal is going to finish top 6. I want us to be. I think we can, but You know, is it an assurance? And you can say City probably going to win the league. Liverpool are going to be second or third. Chelsea are probably going to end up there. Fourth is a different entity. Can we, with our chess, you can't say you're going to finish ahead. Mathematically, I guess you can. For me, I can't say I don't think Arsenal are finishing ahead of City. We have to do it nicely. City, Liverpool. Mathematically, I know Arsenal fans were looking at Chelsea and at a point eyeing up second and third, even Granit Xhaka was. But I don't think you can sit here and say as an Arsenal fan, you're going to finish ahead of Liverpool, Chelsea, or City. Can you wholeheartedly say that's 3 places out of the 6 already gone? Can you say you're going to finish ahead of West Ham? Can you say you're going to finish ahead of United? Can you say you're going to finish ahead of Spurs? All of these teams should fancy it. You can't. So top 6 might be the target, and on face of it, you should have enough to do. But this sentence, the first thing assumes that it's an assurance. Don't listen, we've done well to claw our season back from August, but don't think we've arrived or done anything. I know Arsenal fans like to chop and change the table to help them, but it doesn't mean anything. The club is happy with that. The club can't be happy. The club's complacent, because even if it was just a top 6 thing, should you not bring in a midfielder or a striker that can give you the push, you know? And you look at Spurs and say, all right, cool, we got our thing. We're looking better than them. United are looking rubbed. We've got this. Instead, you're relying on a lot. And to be honest with you, we've got a young squad. If it came down to it, United, Spurs and West Ham, they're more street smart than us. Our young players, they're still, obviously, Ben White, Gabriel, Tomiyasu, these lot are more experienced than a couple of other the young guys. But we've got a young and naive side. And sometimes you've seen when the pressure is on, it's mad. Look at Lokonga, you know, it's crazy. So the plan is to get top 6 and build the squad back up when we're in Europe. No shortcuts. I mean, this is sounding respect to JB, but it's sounding like just finding excuses where there is none really and truly. Like this is what I mean by you either get extremely toxic negativity or extremely toxic positivity, where both are kind of lies. Really, we're denying the truth really and truly. You know. And you just look at the quote teats. Get me 250 spent, no European football, 1 game a week, out of the FA Cup, out of the league. Top 6 is quote unquote acceptable to me, but this is where I mean where we're finding excuses. It just feels like we're finding many. And like I see here, after bragging about second since Christmas table, for me, surely you can't go from eyeing up top 4, man are looking at third and second, to saying, you know, to just assuming you're gonna get top 6 really and truly. You know, it's crazy. It really is bewildering, genuinely. Really at times, man. Like there's no balance when looking at a lot of these things. And again, like my guy Alex has said here, or I say my guy, I don't know Dunny, but I don't seem to remember Arsenal fans being gracious with Wenger when we lost the title to Leicester, because we didn't expect to beat Chelsea and City to the title before the season. It's almost like expectations can change during the season based on changing circumstances. Of course, 100%. Really and truly. And for me, again, it's tough. Look, these guys have 2 goals between them for open play. We're expecting them to do the business in the next 17 games. I hope there's a purple patch. I hope Eddie can make a name for himself. And I almost don't understand the situation. On one hand, Balogun, Tyrese, John Jules, all these guys needed to go on loan, but I can't see our plan for up front. Now we've got Pepe to come in. These guys can do things, but who's going to be the number 9? Cool, you know, Lacazette, you might as well, you know, we know what Lacazette gives us. He doesn't bring goals in, but historically, you know, but he does the general play thing. You might as well do that. Eddie, if you get an opportunity, take it if it comes really and truly. But it's quite scary. It's quite bewildering, really, with what we're doing. Like, it's just as much as certain circumstances are out of our control, it feels like we self-inflict further problems at this club, in my humble opinion. But what do I know, man? I'm just a simple football fan with an opinion, man. But it is what it is in that regards. What else are you lot saying, man? Keep your opinions coming. It's kind of sad to say 4th was never the target when that should be the minimum. It should always be the target. You know, whether you reach it or not, that's what we should always be aspiring for. Eddie couldn't finish his dinner. We're scared to take our chance. You can take steps, but when chance to fast track the process is there, you have to take it. I've never trusted the process. Our football standards and Arteta doesn't meet them. That's sad, but I can't say anything. Really. You come like a piggy bank to him. A man said Arsenal is his side chick. You don't publicly speak about your side chick. Facts. According to a report, the team is okay with not signing anyone this season because the goal is to finish top 6. But even if that is the case, do you have the tools at your disposal to finish top 6? You know, can you set goals, win games? Can you look at the people that you're fighting for Europe and say you're going to outscore them, regardless of what it might say statistically? Can you say you're going to continue, if you are doing it, you're going to outscore West Ham, you're going to outscore United? You know, I back us to outscore Spurs, but at the same time, they brought in some man and Kane's finding his form. You know, are you going to keep more of a clean sheet than them? Maybe. You know, what's your talisman? At this point in the season, you need, okay, you need assurances. Okay, my man's going to do his thing. We can get 3 points. We're assuming, like, just because we're there, that we're back and we're automatically a top 16. We got to remember, we finished back-to-back 8th. We've got no right to have assurances. You know, we've got to go out there and earn it. And I hope existing players can do this thing. But, boy, you know, asking a lot, in my opinion. Asking a lot. So it's almost like the small optimism I had is gone now. If I'll be real with you, look, I'll always support the team, always support the thing, you know. But optimism gone. I'll be real with you, look. Optimism is gone. You know, they pulled me back in. Obviously, I love my football club, but it is what it is. Really, they gave me some optimism with this fighting for Europe. It's gone now, and it's all, you know, they can win me back, but you've lost, man. I can only go with what's in front of me, and I don't like what's in front of me. Like, I'll be real, I don't like it. I've asked for a centre mid. I thought we was bringing one in. I asked for one in the summer. Partey came in. It seems like we're doing the same thing again, you know. So, boy, link with Morata is just not, it's better than nothing, but he's not good enough. He's someone that probably somehow as less clinical than Lacazette and Eddie Nketiah. At 29 years of age, whoring himself out to join Barcelona and Xavi. What's his commitment going to be? If you know you're here for 4 months, are you necessarily going to care? Now, I don't doubt his integrity. He'll give it all to the badge, but he'll be joining a project which isn't nothing like he's been at Juventus, potentially even Atletico, Real Madrid, and these things. What's going on there? I don't want no players who think they're doing this club a favor being here. Bro, the club are fine, bro. Even it don't make sense because Eddie's busting out. Now you have to keep Eddie because you ain't got no one else. But Eddie's busting out. You know, hopefully he gets his Newcastle move. He's busting out. I told you, look, my call was, I think Eddie's running down his deal. Brazy. It's absolutely brazy, man. It's absolutely brazy. It's brazy what we're doing, man. It's part of my language. It's fuckery, really and truly. And I said, I don't care whose fault it is. I don't care if Arteta and Eddie were asking for peas and Kroenke saying, no, I don't care if it's all Kroenke. I don't know. I don't care if Kroenke released the purse strings and them lot have messed it up. Everyone, I ain't got this he, she stuff, you know. Some of you with cousins and siblings, you know, someone might have broke something or someone might have ramped, you know, your parents or your uncle or grandparents, they ain't got time to see who's who. Everyone's getting beats. It's simple as that. If you didn't do it, then boy, it is what it is, isn't it? Bad things happen to good people all the time. That's what is. I ain't got time for nothing. You know, we all I heard was we're working, you know, we're working on transfers. The market is complicated. We're seeing what we can do. This and that, fair play. You know, you have shredded, assuming Aubameyang goes to go with Kolasinac and that, you have shredded the wage bill. You have got some players off. But what's going on? Plan in advance. And the thing is, I don't doubt that they had a plan, bro. I don't doubt that Arsenal had targets. But the problem is, much like us on a football field, when things happen, you know how the boxing saying everyone's got a plan till they get punched in the face. When we get punched in the face, there's no contingency. There's no, okay, cool, we're targeting these guys. But there's this guy who might not be known and might not hit the ground running, but there's this guy that can do a job. There's this lesser profile. If worse comes to worse, there's this agent I can shout and he can make things happen. Like, and this is where, for me, it's not even to make it all about Edu, but for me, this is where you need an experienced director of football to make something happen when it gets peak like this. It's brazy, man. It's very brazy with what's going on, but it is what it is. It is what it is, man. What am I gonna say, man? What can I say? It is what it is, man. I have to just hold it up, really. You know, it is what it is. Like, what can you say, people? It's baffling. Obviously, Aubameyang looks set to keep it moving as well, people. Which brings a tear to my eye, man, because Aubameyang, he might have been limited for a lot of things, but he was a great signing for us. He joined in August and banged. He has given us some good moments. He has carried this team really and truly. We can't forget that. It is what it is, people. You know, he departs, obviously, with 92 goals for Arsenal Football Club and 21 assists and 163. It's brazy, really and truly. He leaves with 7 goals, 4 assists in 15. Yeah, he played against, some of them goals came against West Brom's under 18s, and he still has 4 in the league, which I swear is still more than Lacazette and Eddie. Leave with your head held high. For me, I just care about, you know, the contingency plans. And for all the talk about, well, fans switched it. They said, "Oh, look at Aubameyang's integrity. He could leave, and he's still playing." And in the season he signed, he was in the summer that led to him signing a new deal. Signed a new deal as a money grab, but the man can't. You know, it's quite obviously payoffs are payoffs, but it's quite alarming how much people are just can't wait to get out of Arsenal and get their wages cut and all these things. And Aubameyang's willing to take a significant wage cut to go and join Barcelona. And to be fair, you're technically in Europe. You're at Barcelona. I'd rather be on Barca's bench than Arsenal's, really and truly. So, yeah, credit to Aubameyang, really. Arsenal are close to an agreement with Barcelona to take Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang on loan until the end of the season. Progress has been made and will be further aided by Barcelona's attempt to sell contract rebel Ousmane Dembele to PSG. Aubameyang's salary is the main issue to resolve, with the 32-year-old understood to be willing to take a pay cut on his estimated 350 a week salary. And it's not even that. That's not his base salary. That's provided certain incentives are hit so that he can be registered with Barcelona. Arsenal want Barcelona to cover as much of his wages as possible, which would help if Barca lose, obviously, Dembele and things like that. Eddie's likely to stay at Arsenal should Aubameyang depart, which, again, surely there's got to be something. If you're letting Aubameyang go, surely there's got to be something. I say got to be, I don't know, man. We all thought surely with letting Ainsley go and things like that, and Torreira and Guendouzi in the summer, surely at some point on the agenda was going to be a midfielder. Whether that happened is or not. And again, the club can push for Calvert-Lewin, Isak Vlahovic. I don't give a fuck. Tomorrow, I don't want to see an article on The Athletic about how we tried for anything. I don't care about trying. If you try to pass the test and you fail, you fail. You might not get the grades you need to do to go to uni or get on an apprenticeship or whatever. There's no points for trying. At some point, we need to move on, you know. West Ham tried to get Rafinha and Calvin Phillips. That's a brazy one. Arsenal didn't. Let's start with one article at one time, people. To reiterate, Barcelona are close to reaching an agreement with Arsenal to sign Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang on loan. Progress has been made in talks between all three parties, Aubameyang, Arsenal, and Barca. And although a deal is not yet done, it has advanced significantly. Over the weekend. The main issue left to resolve is the payment of Aubameyang's wages, as we just spoke about. It is believed Arsenal would not receive a loan fee, but want Barca to cover as much of his wages as possible, so that you can't wait. He can't wait to get out. You can't wait to get rid. You're not even getting a loan fee. Fair enough, you saved the wages, but you got to ask yourself: saving the wages, having a player available if something happens to Aubameyang and happens to Lacazette and Eddie. You know, if something happens to them and you're fighting for top 6/top 4 and you have a striker that can score goals, which Aubameyang hasn't done, but you have the option and he scores the goals and he helps you get to Europe, what is better? Because you're getting a player who's there's clearly problems, and the quicker this can be dealt with is better. Clearly got problems with the gaffer. Clearly a sort of mark that we don't need Arteta to have to speak about every session. Every training session, every potential part, talk to the media. Aubameyang deserves to go somewhere where he can actually play games, and Arsenal fans don't deserve this love drama, but it's not making sense. Boy, so we're not getting that. In the same way, we're going to look at Chambers' thing in a second. None of it is making sense, people. And again, I don't even know if Aubameyang's first choice for them. I know he's a Spanish speaker, but they want Morata. There's no option or obligation. There's no loan fee. Barca wouldn't do you a favor. As you know, Xavi is understood to have identified Aubameyang as his primary target, allegedly. Again, apparently Aubameyang wanted to join them since it became clear he's getting rubbed out. He did have offers from Juventus and whatever. It's crazy, man. And he's obviously rejected offers. Again, I don't really care about this Isak thing at this moment in time. Although it initially appeared that Aubameyang's exit might be contingent on Arsenal sourcing a replacement, that is not necessarily the case, and they are proceeding with this process regardless of that fact. As things stand, nobody is close to being acquired before deadline day. So that tells me there's no targets on this season. There's probably no pressure, because if you're Newcastle, let's just use this logically now. If you're Eddie Howe and it's the same bullshit that's happened with Aubameyang and Arteta, but we say Eddie Howe and I don't know, let's just say Joe Linton, or Chris Wood or whoever, you've got to be a bit smart, because you're probably going to have to use them to stay in the league. The same way, it's not the same, but Thomas Tuchel and Lukaku have been beefing. Tuchel knows I'm going to have to use man from now to the end of the season. In the summer, I can do my thing, but this tells me that there's no pressure. We're not trying to achieve anything. We've got no backup plan. What are we doing? Because you're getting fair enough. They're paying some of the wages, but you're not. There's no loan fee, so you're probably helping them bring next man in. What's going on? You know, us and Wolves have helped Barca for no reason. Significantly low, no loan fee, just like with Adama Traore, and low wages. What we doing? Unless they're promising to buck you some players soon, I don't know what we're on, people. You know, it's crazy. As you lot can see here, Arsenal did not activate a clause in Callum Chambers' contract that allowed them, to extend his deal by a year before his move to Aston Villa. We all know he signed for Villa on a 3.5-year deal. The move was facilitated by the fact that Chambers had entered the final 6 months of his Arsenal contract and has left some supporters questioning whether the club have the necessary depth to maintain the top 4 challenge, top 6 challenge, because you've got 3 centre-halves now. On the grand scheme of things, that should be enough for 17 games. All it takes is a Gabriel red card. Ben White's got a knock. What are you doing in defence? You're probably pulling Tomiyasu into centre half, and then Cedric comes in. And then, as you've seen, on top of a team that isn't exactly the most fluid it could be in terms of progressing from play from the defensive third to the middle third, is further crippled. It's almost like Edu and Arteta weren't players. It's almost like we haven't seen this. You know, last season, this season, we've seen Arsenal can be dealt a cruel hand, so it's frustrating. I get it. You know, we're free in the grand scheme of things. You know, Kolasinac, Chambers, who probably isn't earning them much, Aubameyang is freeing up wages and freeing up resources. But if the resources aren't being reinvested to help us, what are we doing? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Arsenal held an option to extend Chambers' contract until 2023, triggering that additional year would have granted Arsenal greater control over the situation, enabling them to demand a significant fee for Chambers or even allowing him to leave on loan before reconsidering the situation in summer, much like Xhaka. The Athletic can reveal that went out the window because that clause expired at the end of December. So in a bit like you're hearing no noise about El Nene, Lacazette, the decision was made about this with Chambers, really. Whether by accident or by design, Arsenal allowed the clause to elapse without activating it. That placed Chambers in a position of strength, essentially placing his future in his own hands. A move to Villa was subsequently swiftly agreed. So there's that. David Ornstein, as you already know, allegedly Barcelona and Aubameyang will be uniting soon. His prospective move to Barca will come down to this. As you know, the main issue was around salary. Once again, it's believed Arsenal would not receive a loan fee, but want Barca to cover as much of his wages as possible, which would be a huge saving, but may be complicated by their financial state. And it's crazy, man. The situation is being handled from Arsenal's perspective by technical director Edu, which again, you might have to sit there and say, Arteta, I know you want to get rid of Aubameyang and whatnot, but we're not bringing in another striker. You might need to be helped in that regard. Pardon me. The situation is being handled by Edu, but any decision will be taken in conjunction with Mikel Arteta, the executive leadership, and the board. Although it initially appeared that Aubameyang's exit might be contingent on Arsenal sourcing a replacement, that is not necessarily the case, and they are proceeding with this process regardless of the fact that, as things stand, nobody is close to being acquired before deadline day. The sighting of Real Sociedad in the English capital on Saturday fueled speculation that the Swede, who is a long-term target, might be switching to the Emirates Stadium, but there are currently no developments in that regards. We're going to focus on that a bit more at 11:30, people. So yeah, man. Dark day indeed, really and truly. So yeah, that's Aubameyang, folks. But you know, 11:30 we'll deal with that. You know, Morata and Isaac and all of these sort of dons, man. It's an absolute crazy one, man. But Aubameyang's been doggish. In the same way, man might say that about Laka. I don't rate Callum Chambers. I don't rate necessarily Pablo Mari. They can move. I'm not going to cry over Torreira and Guendouzi, but it's about the knock-on effect that letting certain people go have for the squad. I don't give two rats monkeys about this Aubameyang thing. I care about my club, you know, respectfully. Him leaving, regardless of his form, means, you know, you've had 3 options to play up front. You've got 2 now. If something happens to them, you're in a dangerous game. As I said, if it's cold, you'd rather have too many jackets than not enough. And we've got 1 hoodie on. We're backing it off. We ain't even got a t-shirt. Man are just out there. You know when you're just going to take shopping out the car for your mum or something. You know, you're just out. It's a hoodie. There's no t-shirt on. Man's nipples are getting all cold and shit. What's going on? It's crazy. It's crazy. it's self-inflicted problems as well, because I'm going to hear people say, woe is me. That I do feel that at times with our club, we do, woe is me. You know, we lack self-awareness. It's like we make several mistakes and do nonsense. Arsenal have no intention to find a solution for Eddie Nketiah on deadline day. Newcastle approaches have been turned down also yesterday. He's expected to stay until the end of the season, then could leave as a free agent, people. So that's that with Eddie Nketiah. And Aubameyang, people, what would that be? That'd be 47, in fact. Farewell, Aubameyang. No, new signing, and I really hope there's a surprise. But at this time, I can, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. The preparing for the worst is that the 17, 18 players that are still left and still available, that's what we're doing, and let's just hope for miracles in it. But I think success is not a coincidence. You have to take active steps, and it's like, you fail to plan, you plan to fail, or you fail to react to whatever plan you had, you're gonna fail. Really, it is what it is in that regards, man. It is what it is. Shout out to the other teams though, because there's some exciting things going on. Bruno Guimaraes over there at Newcastle. Unfortunately, Bentancur and Kulusevski over there at Spurs. Luis Diaz has signed for Liverpool. Probably missing certain things out, but there's been some lit things going on, really and truly. So let's get into all of that, people. Let's get into all of this. West Ham looking at Darwin Núñez, something we should be trying to do, but allegedly he wants Champions League football. So it all you start to paint a picture really and truly with that. Obviously, let's get into some of these headlines I've got. I know some of you are probably seeing beer tabs open, and you can see why. First things first, on a serious note, Mason Greenwood, I've spoken about it at length. We all know what's what now. First things first, thoughts and prayers and whatnot to the young girl who's sadly suffered this. She's the only one that matters, really and truly. By God's grace, she gets the help that she needs and is able to somehow piece back together her life, really and truly, because, domestic abuse, domestic violence, rape, these are things that, the physical wounds might heal, but mentally you've basically murdered someone. You've robbed that girl. Whatever that girl was like, she's not going to be the same. You've killed some sort of spark internally within her, Mason Greenwood. As for Mason Greenwood, I don't understand. I get it. All this, he's thrown his career away, all of this. Fuck his football career. It's a human being thing first. Forget the fact that he plays for United and he's a footballer, and that it's a human thing. And what scares me and what upsets me, is there's certain people who can't speak about things like this. Again, one thing that helped this get traction, let's be real, is the fact that she's the girlfriend of Mason Greenwood, and the fact that this twat plays for United in England. What if it was just a common Joe Blogs? There's people suffering in silence, hearing a lot of people doing foolishness like, why is she recording it? Obviously, if she's recording it, this has been happening for a while, and it's a bit different for allegations. I can't lie. Unless there's some mad voice changer thing, which I doubt, bro, man, it's very disturbing. He did that, innocent until proven guilty, disclaimer somehow, but boy, the writing's on the wall. And we all know he's been told by Manchester United, you're not training or playing until obviously things are concluded. He's been arrested on suspicion of rape and assault, and it scares me because you saw the statement from her dad, the very people she's meant to trust in, her boyfriend and her dad. She can't. So then again, the way she looks at males, forget in the future for her boyfriend and all these things, when by God's grace she moves on, how she fucking interacts with someone at Sainsbury's, a male cashier. You fucked it. Mason Greenwood, there's no words for this sort of twatness, The 20-year-old remains in custody for questioning, and inquiries are ongoing. The reality is if she doesn't press charges, then it's only going to go so far, really and truly. And the thing that scares me is it's not what it's not what's right or wrong. It's what you can prove and what narrative you can paint in the future. I mean, in court. And let's be real, Greenwood's money is long. He's probably got the best lawyers that his money can buy. How the thing's set already. So it's sadly almost a losing game. It wouldn't surprise me if there's some sort of out of court stuff that goes on, really and truly. As you know, things were postponed. United has said, we are aware of images and allegations circling on social media. We will not make any further comment until the facts have been established. Manchester United does not condone violence of any kind. And I don't care how much I don't care how many appearances he's made. Again, any females or any males, anyone suffering with domestic abuse or things like that, please try and get help. I know it's easier said than done. I know you have to think about things. I know it's not as easy as picking up the phone and whatnot, because, you know, it's deeper. You know, sometimes you've seen stories where a woman might just go and tell the police what's going on, but she still has to go back to the yard, and there's no what the thing's called again, charges brought up, and then it turns into a murder case. So it's not as easy as just speaking. But please, if you need any help and recovery, please just speak to someone, innit? Fuck Mason Greenwood, man. You absolute bastard, man. Absolute bastard. William, you will speak about you later. Your face is disgusting me and upsetting me because you were so mediocre at my football club. Chelsea fume as Premier League strict COVID rules hit club sponsorship deals, while Newcastle targets are reluctant to join strugglers without the promise of relegation release clauses. Continuing COVID measures are causing frustration among some of the bigger Premier League clubs, including Chelsea, who have made their feelings known. The issue they have is that an inability to provide access to players, thanks to bubbles, is causing problems with big commercial partners. Firms who spend millions in sponsorship have time with big stars to promote their products built into their contracts, and failure to provide such activity, thanks to restrictions, is causing unrest. The last thing clubs want to do is start paying out refunds for unfulfilled agreements. So it doesn't matter about the players' health. Just the fact that they can't promote bullshit. Okay, cool. I'm not going to continue to read that. Obviously, as well, before we get into transfers, Frankie Lampard is back in the Prem. Everton appoint former Chelsea boss as new manager to replace Rafa Benitez. Duncan Ferguson and Vito Pereira were also interviewed. You know, Rooney kind of turned it down. You know, Frank Lampard is back, and whether he can help Everton turn their season around is another thing. But yeah, he's joined them. Paul Clement will be his assistant manager, and I think he's taken a couple of other Chelsea dons with him as well. So yeah, it is what it is. Shout out to Christian Eriksen. We all know he had a tough time with obviously his heart. He signed for Brentford, people, after obviously his cardiac arrest. So it's nice to see, first and foremost, that he can be in a healthy situation where he can even consider playing football again, because that probably was not the priority. If we scroll the way down, Burnley have allegedly entered the race for Divock Origi, who, you know, probably is allowed to go. That'd be a good signing for Burnley, really. Liverpool are pushing for Fabio Carvalho and are willing to let him stay at Fulham until the end of the season. He'd be a good signing for them. Spurs, as we know, it looks like Ndombele is close to leaving. First, it was, you saw Roma, Valencia, PSG. It looks like he's going to Lyon, folks. Returning, better yet, to Lyon. Apparently, there's going to be a buy option. Probably not for the 50-60 million they spent. It just hasn't worked out for Ndombele for whatever reason over there at Spurs, people. Scrolling all the way down, Dundee United have been tipped to secure a loan deal for Arsenal midfielder Tim Akinola. Why not? The 20-year-old probably isn't going to make the grade at this club, so go and put yourself in the shop window. Aubameyang is closing in on a Barcelona move. Etike, you know, who's at Reims, could be joining Newcastle, so that probably puts dead in the water Nketiah's move. Todd Cantwell, forgot he was a Prem footballer, really and truly. His contract is running down. He's not been allowed to leave. Van der Beek is in Liverpool undergoing a medical ahead of his loan move to Everton, where he'll play under, obviously, Frank Lampard. Aaron Ramsey was linked with Burnley, but it now seems that he's close to actually going to Wolves, people. Ramsey is understood to have rejected the advances from Palace and Burnley already this month. Boy, I mean, Wolves, you get Aaron Ramsey, you give us Ruben Neves, please. I mean, Arsenal need to go, listen, Ruben Neves, Basuma, Douglas Luiz, just apply some pressure and see what can be done, man. Because we can't go for no one that's not in the country per se, with the exception of if you activated Isaac's release clause, you know, you could get it done. And, you know, I think just like with Partey, his club would be allowed to, obviously, they'll be given an extension to bring in a replacement. Big up Jermaine Defoe. He's in talks with Sunderland, folks. Targets a Newcastle target. Matt Target is a target for Newcastle, who have just signed Dan Burn. Doncaster Rovers are in talks to sign Rio Griffiths. I mean, it didn't work out for him leaving Spurs and going Lyon. It didn't, you know, not everyone leaves and goes abroad and does a mad thing. Lo Celso is set to join Villarreal. Bournemouth in talks for Todd Cantwell. What a fall from grace that is. Tottenham, you've got Kulusevski and Bentancur, so I'm not too sure if I should believe this, but allegedly they're entering the race for Douglas Luiz and willing to fight us for that. Danish connection between Thomas Frank and Eriksen, you bet ya. Apparently Ramsey could go to Rangers. They just need to agree personal terms. What a move that would be for the young, well, I say young man, he's not young anymore. You know, Ramsey's still 17 in my head. Arsenal not close to signing anyone, you know. I ain't got the heart to read that, man. You know what? Fuck it. I've got a duty, man. I've got a duty to read it. Arsenal are not close to bringing anybody in. They look to reinforce the striker position and were prepared to throw everything at Dusan Vlahovic. It would seem, but he never seemed to want to come. You've known that since October. He wanted to stay in Italy and continue breaking goal scoring records there, and he's going to get that opportunity at Juventus. There were other players that Arsenal admired. Isaac, who has been a target for quite some time and may continue heading into the summer. Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well. Arsenal, Aaron Ramsey. Oh. Arsenal tried to do a deal for Juventus midfielder Arthur and spent a lot of time on that. Is he at the club? It doesn't matter. But it wasn't possible in the end. Despite technical director Eddie reaching some sort of agreement, the deal wasn't sanctioned by the board. There is all this back and forth exploring different avenues. I guess we cannot rule out a late move, maybe a loan, but there will be frustration for Mikel Arteta. Clearly, they would have liked to have done more in an ideal world, but that ideal world hasn't materialized in January. There's no excuses, you know. Is it harder for us or Newcastle to bring players in? I know Newcastle have the bag and money talks, but left, right, and centre, Newcastle were getting shagged for targets. Man didn't want to sign for them. And it does look a bit bewildering. It looks like they're signing players to prepare for the Championship and players to help them stay in the league both at the same time. But they made it happen, you know. Spurs were getting rejected by Bearman. They've made it happen. How do you know Liverpool never got rejected for Bearman and they've made it happen? It happens. We know January is a difficult time to do business. Some people make it work. There's no excuses. No excuses. Make something happen, please. By the time, it's 11 a.m. now, by 11 p.m., I need to see something, really and truly. Shout out to Ericsson once again for returning to, the Premier League with Brentford. Shout out to Brentford for giving man a chance. It does look like Ousmane Dembele will be joining PSG, but United links are not going away. West Ham hoping to complete move for Benfica striker Darwin Núñez. The player is currently in Uruguay, so again, logistically, they're probably up against it. He's got 20 goals in 25, and this is who we need. West Ham apparently also remain in talks for Hugo Ekitike, people. The 19-year-old's got 8 goals in 10. Still very raw, very, still waiting to fill out. A bit lanky and that, but yeah, man, that's him doing his thing. Allegedly, Man City are open to Raheem Sterling offers. It's a bit late in the day to entertain any of that, isn't it, people? Really and truly. As already said, credit to Spurs. We laughed at them, but you should laugh, people. Credit where due. Again, Spurs were getting rejected by Man. They made it work. They've signed in Kulusevski and Bentancur. And it looks like then Ndombele and Brian Gill going on loan. Ndombele, I don't know right now. It looks like Lo Celso might go. I would suspect if, Dele Alli might stay, I don't think they'll let everybody go. But yeah, Spurs are doing what they need to do. And as said, allegedly PSG are in talks to sign Barcelona forward Ousmane Dembele, people. Barca want 20 million, quite a far cry from the 100 odd they spent on him. As we know, they gave him an ultimatum. They gave the 24-year-old an ultimatum. And for what it's worth, people, Dembele would prefer to stay for the remainder of his current deal because you get a loyalty bonus. But Barca have made it clear they want him out and have even threatened to leave him in the stands if he stays, people. So he's kind of got no chance, really and truly. Either makes the move or you don't play football. Or at least that's the threat, really. Big up everyone who's been following and subscribing, by the way. Appreciative to such. Darwin Núñez is quality, man. This is supposed to be a nice week away from Arsenal, but it never does. It never ends, does it? No, it doesn't, my guy. It's I don't know if it's the optimism or whatnot that ends up with you in this spot, people. Let me see what other transfer deadline day news there is. As you know, Dennis Zakaria seems to be moving closer to Juventus. Dan Burns obviously joined Newcastle. Arsenal have done fucking nothing. Allegedly, talk of Aaron Ramsey to Wolves are wide of the mark. So I don't know what that means, people. Dean Henderson apparently is set to sign for Newcastle on loan, allegedly. AC Milan are looking at Dele Alli. Apparently, Tottenham are looking at Ousmane Dembele. Wait, as you know, Newcastle and Crystal Palace had bids turned down for Eddie Nketiah. As I said, Ndombele is in advanced talks to return to Lyon. Chelsea have made their interest in Leeds United and Brazil winger clear, but it's likely the 25-year-old will only be available in the summer. As you know, West Ham tried to grab him. Everton could sign up to 4 players on deadline day. Boy, Nico Williams could be going to Bournemouth. Boy, Bournemouth are in advanced talks to sign Woodman from Newcastle. Basuma could move on, allegedly, with teams interested. Just throw the bag at the guy, man. Brighton allegedly want 45 million. I wouldn't even, for me, if I had to, I'd be going route. You can't do it in it because you're not giving anyone time to find replacements. But generally, if I was Arsenal, you got nothing unless there's some other scouting reports and stuff. We was linked with young Brazilian midfielders. Probably too late in the day. For me, the most realistic one is probably Douglas Luiz, just based on the talk. It seems like, of all people, they're kind of open to selling him and whatnot. You go ask Brighton, who we've done a deal with for Ben White. You go Brighton, you go Aston Villa, you go Wolves, and you see what you could do for Ruben Neves, Basuma, and obviously Douglas Luiz. But even Leicester, it doesn't look like they'll let Telemans go, but maybe, you try a thing in it, but you're asking a lot. There's times going against us. I really hope there's something in the waters, but boy, as an honest football fan, I can't convincingly say there is, people. Don't forget, people, 11:30, we go live again, same way, which the link is there for you guys. What can you say, man? What can you say? I'm trying to see if I've missed anything out. I don't think I have, man. Really, like, me go on goal.com and see if there's anything as well. Like, which to be honest, all these papers are gonna say the same ish, really. We've been linked with the Thomas, where 1 minute them links got quashed and then they didn't. So it is what it is. Yeah, Aaron Ramsey could be joining Rangers on loan. Apparently, Barcelona want Di Maria as part of a Dembele deal. That would be good for them. If I was Messi, I'd be vexed if he's leaving. Aston Villa have agreed to loan Target to Newcastle. Obviously, they've just signed Luca Dean. Harvey Vale has been subject to interest from Championship clubs. Chelsea has said no. Allegedly, they're letting Adjerin go on loan. Boy, allegedly, a fee has been agreed for Nunes between West Ham and Benfica. Arsenal are being linked with a last-ditch attempt for Morata, where now I get it. You might as well just stay with what we have. There's no point replacing Meedy with Meedy, but we do need an option. So yeah, everyone's making movements. Everyone's making things happen. Apart from one of the clubs that need to. Leeds United allegedly are interested in Chelsea midfielder Kennedy, who I'm not sure if they'll let him go without their problems at left back. Renato Sanchez allegedly has turned down a move to AC Milan, even though the Italian club agreed a fee in the region of 25 million euros with Lille. So, boy, it is what it is where that's concerned, people. Like, it genuinely is. It is what it is. What more can you say? Is that bid been rejected? Crazy one, man. We've got twats here. My birthday today is the B-day of my friend. Can you wish him happy birthday? I ain't got Google, man. Man trying to make me say Italian phrases for God is a pig, pork God. Again, blasphemy. I believe in Jah and that, but it's too early in the morning. You got to wake up quicker than that, man. Hey, respectfully, in English, suck your mum through a straw, you dickhead, you. And I meant that. You tried it, man. I don't know. I was gonna say I respect you for trying, but I don't respect you for trying, man. Someone block this pussy or you, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. You try to be a funny boy. Your dad's probably a funny boy as well, like. Hell out of here, man. Man tried it. 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 You already got banned, man. What a weirdo. You're a weird you, man. I know you're laughing somewhere, your dick out, but come on, man. Mature up, man. The audio is disturbing. It sounded like the girl wasn't scared or shocked like this has happened before. It has, bro. What scared me with that is Greenwood's thing, man. Greenwood, he's saying shit like fucking pull your pants down or some shit like that. It's like, bro, how are you turned on with that? And that's not how you speak to someone you meant to love. What's going on, man? The dad's a pussy, man. He put money over integrity, or he probably put his, my family name's being dragged through the mud. That his dad's clearly someone that's open to Greenwood's hush money. And that's what scares me, When the time you need support the most, your dad, who the first ever male, I assume, you ever felt love and comfort from was your dad. He's snaking it. Boy, probably divided the fam. Pussy old antics, man. Pussy old antics for true, man. Another window wasted on giving players away and no incomings. I don't want to hear any of our fans giving excuses when we start slipping down the table. McTeta and Edu decided that training trip to Dubai was more important than signing players. To be fair, Edu has stayed in the UK, but he might as well have gone because what's going on. I do hope that, you know, there's a lot to do. Again, I'm not I said I'll shut my mouth to the end of the window, but until then, myth. Bro, man is 20 years of age, man. There's nothing to do with being young, bro. You know, you don't force yourself upon people. You in always, you know, you don't do them things. So Greenwood's got no excuse, and you know, them sort of crimes there. There's, you know, what needs to happen. Jungle justice, the only thing for them, man. That proper waywardness, man. I've got no time for this sort of wayward antics, man. Apparently, a medical's been done successfully between Kulusevski in London. So an official announcement is due for Kulusevski and Bentancur. So that probably means Spurs are doing their social media things. Don't hear nothing about this Raul the Thomas brother, man. Isaac is back in Spain now. Boy. But why are we back in Armenia? Why is Armenia? Why are we? Oh. Fuck you, lot, man. What did Lowski say? I mean, respectfully, what could Lowski say that we're not all saying? But all right, what's Lowski said? Lowski ain't nothing but a tramp. I mean, we know he's a pussy out. Like, I mean, respectfully, we all know that. Shout out to him. But what I would say is, yeah, man. Shout out to Burnley are making things happen, man. Burnley have let a striker go and replace one. My word, can you believe that? Can you believe that? Can you Adam and Eve it? Bracy. Selling players or loaning players comes with bringing people in. Crazy. Who knew that? Who knew that? That is brazy, man. I never knew that. Oh, Lord have his mercy on me, man. Lord have his mercy on me. This club is going to break, man, one day, man. What more can you say, man? What more can you say? In fact, the only thing I have to say is, people, with that being said, I don't think we've got anything more to say here, people. Really appreciative to you lot tuning in. What else have you lot got to say? Van der Beek's been confirmed. Everything's getting confirmed by us, man. It's like, it's confirmed that we're not doing nothing, man. You know, it's a cold day for Arsenal fans at this moment in time, even colder than this green tea. Let me drink it. Ugh. That wasn't the best, was it? But yeah, it is what it is, man. What are you gonna do, man? All you have to do is hold it up, like. What the fuck? Why is my video playing? I was about to say they're doing a serious problem if the video that I'm meant to do is playing, because I'm, you know, the guy ain't there really. It's crazy, man. Mad thing is, I would generally take him. Nah, man, that's the thing. They're twanging us now. Don't let desperation twang you, man. Closest we've been to top four. Closest we've been into top four in years, and we let it slide. Sometimes it is better to remove, but that, I don't think that's applicable in Arsenal's situation. We've needed to do both. Like, I can't lie, I can't accept that. What I'm not going to do is be ridiculously negative to the point where veins are popping off in my head, you know. But what I'm not going to do is try and rationalize nonsense. I do think Arsenal fans do that. We rationalize a lot of nonsense. You know, a lot of fans are ridiculously negative about shit, and a lot of people rationalize things. We could finish just above relegation. Well, we never got relegated. It shows us this team has to go through adversity. Like, man, I'm doing my head in with this BS now, man. It's brazy, man. It's brazy. You're right, though, in general, but I just feel a lot of fans, we lack balance, much like our team. We haven't got balance at all. as I said, man, you just need to go around. You need to just go, you know, Douglas Luiz, Basuma, you know, Neves, just, you know, Telemans. None of these efforts are going to do anything. For me, you might as well just forget the striker, at least double down on the midfield, you know, because I know I wasn't assuming Aubameyang would leave, but probably even with Aubameyang going, I'm more comfortable with the attacking options than the midfield. It's, you know, just make your team hard to beat, man. We did get a cameo in that, bro. Bruno Guimaraes throwing shade. And who is his agent? I swear it's Kai Jurukin, or he was involved. Is it any coincidence? Hey, dude, the man them don't even rate you. You know, you gave his client Cedric a 4-year deal. The man them don't even rate you. Like, you're not even getting ratings. Pardon me. And to be fair, if the club didn't give P's to be bidding for, man, so then maybe that's why there was no P's put down for Bruno Guimaraes. Can't wait till we're offered some, you know, some merchandise and things. Like a dickhead, I'm gonna buy it as well. Hey man, this club has got me, man. Got no words, people, man. What more can you say? Don't forget, I'm live at 4:30 on Twitch as well. We're gonna play FM 11:30 on YouTube, people. I don't know what to say, man. Again, I'm saying Aubameyang's arrival in Barcelona depends on Dembele's departure, as we heard. But DG, it's only league games. There's 17 games, bro. 17 games left. Seriously. You know, 17 games. Is that enough for 17 games? That's assuming no one gets injured, no one gets suspended, no one loses form. 17 games. And you've got to remember, there's going to come a period. There's always a period, you know, where Arsenal are going to be playing twice in a week, because I'm sure there's a week where we're playing Wolves midweek and then on the Sunday or the Saturday. 17, you know, 17, 18 players, 17 games left. 3 fit centre halves. 2 strikers who don't know about scoring. I can only go on what's ahead of me, man. You know, I can only go what's in front of me. Say, man. It could all work out. It might not. I don't like to take things to chance. I don't like coincidences. And I think, considering, as someone said, we've had COVID cases, we've had mad injuries, you know, we've had a lot to get to this point. And for me, if you represent Arsenal or whatever, you should always have a positively pessimistic approach to our players staying fit. And what I mean by that is, by all means, assume the man are going to stay fit, all of these things. But we all know everyone on the best of days deals with hella injuries. When it's Arsenal, bro, man get injured. The people helping people recovering from injuries get injured and stuff. We've seen brazy stuff. Just the other week, no right backs were available. No, the team was down. So for me, I can't understand this. Clearly, if the club were getting rid of people with Ainsley and stuff, I do think the club were preparing for something to happen. But this is where you need to be street smart. Maybe the club could have said, you know what, Ainsley, you're not going Roma until this is dealt with. How many times have you seen things drag on? I'm not the only one I won't advocate. Kolasinac and Marie, they needed to go. And I'm definitely not defending Marie. More so, and I'm not defending Chambers, he can go, but you got 3 fit centre halves. What happens if there's an injury to one of those first choice centre halves? As you saw in our last game, it affects how we play out from the back, where it's once we play out from the back on the best of days and it's slapped into midfield, we struggle. Suddenly, you're going to have to pull Tomiyasu out there. So you've killed any relationship Saka and Tomiyasu have, assuming Saka is fit. God forbid, touch wood, if anyone gets injured and all of these things. When we're moving brazy. Kay, I appreciate you for subscribing, man. Appreciate you for doing your thing, man. Appreciate that. One love to everyone subscribing via Amazon Prime. You can support the channel at no extra cost. Appreciative to everyone who persists with the ads. Appreciate that, Kay. I can't say that, man. Like I can't. Oops. Something's died in me today, man. Something died in me. And again, respectfully for me, like, you've got a plan, man. You've got a plan. You know, no other club. Van der Beek has been allowed to leave now at the end of the window. As soon as, and again, it's not the same, but as soon as I'm hearing, oh, yo, Pogba's he's getting fit again, Ralph Rangnick's talking about him, it seems you can keep it moving. Man, I'm not saying you can go. And this is where you've got to be, it's not even an experience thing, it's street smart. Arteta has been in this job 2 years now. His first full season was last season. You dealt with hella injury. Bro, I can't lie, Arteta's dealt with a lot since he took this job. You know, realistically, a lot that's going to help him. But think about it. If you've gone through one experience, shouldn't you be able to now directly relay? This is where I have problems. You can't just say a man's inexperienced. You can't just say Edu's inexperienced. People need to learn. We don't know the Kroenkes don't give a fuck, but Edu and Arteta have been in this situation. It's much like the players. Respectfully, just because it helps me paint a picture. When Lokonga's losing the ball in the middle of the park, how many times a man is saying he's young? We know old habits die hard, but you've seen it firsthand to know things. If I put my hand in a fire, I don't need a more experienced person to tell me the dangers of a fire and, you know, all of these things. I put my hand in the fire, my hand got burnt. Now, if I put my hand in that again, I'm a dickhead. We're doing things, you know. We're fooling ourselves. Everyone gets one chance to mess around. Now, this is a consequence of failing to get things done, having no contingency plans, incompetence, or naivety. Either way, the only, you know, if you was to draw a diagram, it's just not good enough. Now, I'm going to shut my mouth until the 11 p.m., but it's peak, people. It's to call it peak would be an understatement, realistically, but it is where it is, man. What am I going to say to you, lot, man? All it takes is couple, man. It's Kalas. It's Kalas. It can get Kalas like that. And even you saw it, even just from Ben White having to do a little thing at right back. The first game he played right back for us, it was lit. Just from him going to right back, we missed Ben White charging out from the back against a low block in Burnley. On the best of days, we can't break up low blocks. So when you move the partnership we have developing of Tomiyasu and Saka, when you move our centre-backs around, when you have to do something, put someone else somewhere to accommodate stuff, you lose any sort of balance and fluidity you initially had. The summer's not an excuse, car. Boy, I hope we get top 6. I think with a failure to do anything, you need to target top 6. And even top 6 is a big battle. I mean, the black kit will look wavy, man. I guess we really are dressing up for our own funerals these days, but it is what it is, man. On that note, though, I'm just conscious of time, people. So while it's been fantastic with the Twitch gang, I can't lie, you know, keep your opinions, talking points, engagements and things. We're going to, you know, I'm not done yet. We go over to YouTube at 11:30 where I'll be pouring my heart out a bit more. Yeah, really and truly, people, you lot, it's been a fantastic one on here on Twitch. I'm back at 4:30. I just want to say thank you to everyone who's rocking with me on Twitch, because soon this will be where all my live content is and replays and stuff will be on YouTube. But I just want to praise you lot for the support you give me when we talk football like now, when we do watch-alongs like yesterday, when we do Football Manager streams like at 4:30. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate everything you guys do, and obviously we're gonna test the realms of Twitch even more, man. You can watch TV shows together with each other, so we're gonna do that. It's been appreciative to all the members, moderators, subscribers, supporters, people that have been talking, people that have just been silently supported. Some of you are at the gym, at work, looking after the youths. I appreciate all your support, and you know, again, it's morning, night, evening, whatever, wherever you lot are. And I appreciate it. Without you lot, there'd be no point coming here and waffling about football in general. So I appreciate that. You lot stay blessed, stay safe. I'll buck you in 12 minutes exactly. Make sure you're following on Twitch and YouTube and that. Most importantly, have a good start to the week. Let's move that much closer to our goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, and aspirations. I'll catch you lot in 12 minutes.
There's always just that active red light, defending. I think it's like